60 kilograms of weapons-grade uranium was falling from space, aimed at North America. For 8 days, the United States and the Soviet Union shared a secret that could have changed history. This is the story of Kosmos 954, the Soviet nuclear satellite that almost hit New York. September 1977. The Soviet Union launches a satellite into low Earth orbit. Designation: Kosmos 954. Mission: hunt the U.S. Navy. Power source: a small nuclear reactor loaded with uranium-235 enriched to 90%, the same grade used in atomic weapons. For weeks, it works perfectly, tracking American warships through clouds, darkness, and any weather on Earth. Then something goes wrong. November 1977. Soviet engineers lose contact. By mid-December, NORAD radar deep inside Cheyenne Mountain sees the satellite behaving strangely. It climbs, falls, climbs again, drifting between altitudes like a wounded animal. Kosmos 954 is dying, and inside it is a nuclear reactor that was supposed to be ejected into a safe disposal orbit hundreds of miles higher. But the disposal motor never fires. The reactor stays attached. The satellite is coming home, and nobody can stop it. January 1978. In a secret meeting between superpowers, the Soviets tell the Americans the truth. They have lost a nuclear satellite. It will re-enter within weeks. They do not know where. Pentagon analysts run the numbers. Possible impact zones: Los Angeles, Chicago, New York. A Soviet nuclear object striking an American city at the height of the Cold War. The wrong analyst, the wrong headline, the wrong moment. World War III. Quietly, the U.S. Air Force readies recovery aircraft. Canadian Forces Edmonton goes on alert. NORAD watches every orbital pass. The world has 96 hours. January 24th, 1978, 11:53 Greenwich Mean Time. Kosmos 954 hits the upper atmosphere and burns northeast across Western Canada. For 70 seconds, a line of fire crosses the Arctic sky. 600 kilometers of flaming wreckage from Great Slave Lake to Baker Lake. Then, Moscow announces the satellite was completely destroyed during re-entry. No danger, no debris, no radiation. It is a lie. The Americans and Canadians know better. Within hours, a joint task force is airborne. Codename: Operation Morning Light. C-130 Hercules transports. U-2 spy planes flying at 70,000 feet, sniffing the stratosphere for traces of uranium. Radiation teams in helicopters search 124,000 square kilometers of frozen wilderness. Then they find pieces. Antenna fragments. Radioactive. Metal flakes scattered like ashes. Radioactive. Touch one, and it may not burn your skin. Breathe one, and it can kill you. January 28th. A small cabin near Warden's Grove on the Thalon River. A hiker named John Mordhorst is retracing the steps of an English explorer who died there 50 years earlier. Then he sees something sticking out of the snowbank. Twisted metal, cables, a broken machine from the sky. He jokes with his friend that it looks like a Russian spaceship. They laugh. They walk back to the cabin. Then the radio call comes in. Suddenly, it is not a joke. It is the largest piece of Kosmos 954 ever recovered. 60 kilograms from a 5-ton spacecraft. But the reactor core itself was never fully recovered. Canada billed the Soviet Union $6 million. The Soviets paid $3 million. Then the story disappeared. Buried under 3 Mile Island, buried under Chernobyl, buried under Fukushima. But the warning never disappeared. Because hundreds of nuclear-powered objects still orbit Earth tonight, and re-entries happen all the time. So the next time you see a satellite drifting across the night sky, remember Kosmos 954. In 1978, one of them carried the shadow of Hiroshima, and we got lucky. Follow Stellarscope. The universe is full of secrets like this, and we are only just getting started.